I want to start talking about house music, because house music, after all, is what started all this stuff. And house music developed in the early to mid 80s in Chicago, in the United States. And what happened was there was a very lively nightclub scene, of course, and every nightclub had their own resident DJ. But a couple of these DJs were very creative people, and they were tired of playing the same old disco records that everybody else was playing in town. You could go to any nightclub in Chicago and everybody would play the big hits of the moment. Of course, that's what happens in a nightclub. But these guys were thinking of ways to maybe add a little more excitement to their dance floors, play more exclusive stuff for their crowd. And what they did was they started to edit the disco records that they were playing. Maybe extend the intro, make the breaks longer, maybe add a chorus or, remove a verse, cut up their disco records and play them from tape, actually, in the nightclub. And one of the guys that started this all was Frankie Knuckles. He was a very famous DJ from Chicago, and he's still seen as the godfather of house music. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. He was working in a nightclub called The Warehouse. And for a long time, people have thought that house music was actually called house music because of the name of the club, The Warehouse, right? But that doesn't seem to be really true, because I heard Juan Atkins, one of the pioneers in techno music that we're going to talk about later, explain the term house music. He said, if you would go to The Warehouse, Frankie would play his exclusive stuff, and that was the music of the house. Like you can get a drink on the house. This was the music that was only played in the house. So it was the house music. You wouldn't be able to hear in any other nightclub in town. So that is what supposedly the term house music comes from. And what I have here is not, I didn't set out to make a Beatport top 10 hit, but a very generic piece of house music the way it is now. It doesn't really relate very well to the house music that was invented in the early 80s, because the deep house that we're going to talk about in a different chapter is a lot more like that. But this is the way house music more or less is right now. And I'm just going to play it for you in the next tutorial, and we'll talk about it a little more.